I thought that Epsom salts would help in the more that I put in to my watering solution that I made, I will be able to produce better growing plants. I based this hypothesis off the gardening websites that are on here, and these are gardeningtoknow.com, Insteading, and trees.com. These websites all talk about how Epsom salt can help plant growth. And previously in this year, my 8th grade year at Catholic Memorial, we did an experiment called Planting Science, where I tested how soil types help or hurt plant growth. I wanted to continue this research to see what helps plants grow from a watering standpoint. I did this experiment by watering plants daily. So each type of plant would have 6 in the 2/3 cup of water, 6 in the 1/4 teaspoon, and 6 in the 1/2 teaspoon area. Each plant had those 3 types of plants that I used for this experiment, and those were spinach, green beans, and snow peas. The measurements for each are, for the tap water measurement, 2/3 cup of tap water. Then for the 1/4 teaspoon measurement, I had 2/3 cup of water and 1/4 teaspoon of Epsom salt. For the 1/2 teaspoon measurement, I had 2/3 cup of water and 1/2 teaspoon of Epsom salt. But to start off this, I poured each cup of water with no Epsom salt in each segment, and I did this twice. So at the end, there was 2 cups of water poured in each segment with no Epsom salt at all in each. Here are some pictures that I collected from my experiment. On the 10th, there was no growth at all, but on the 11th, I started to see growth in my plants. Then on the 12th, plants that had already grown grew bigger, but there was no new sprouts. On the 14th, most plants had at least sprouted, and on the 15th, the same thing happened, just plants grew bigger. On the 17th, I had experienced growth on almost every single plant that actually grew in this project. Same on the 18th and the 23rd, but then on the current day, every plant in the tap water part that had actually grown had started to produce the type of plant that it makes, whether it's green beans, spinach, or snow peas. On the right side, where we have the 1/2 teaspoon of Epsom salt all the way on the right, there was only one plant that grew tall. In the middle, they grew to about a medium size, but weren't as successful as any of the other plants. So on the 1/2 teaspoon measurements, the only plant that grew to a decent height was the green bean 1/2 3 plant, and this plant grew to 9 centimeters. Every other plant was under 5 centimeters. It had not produced any sign of a sprout. Then for the 1/4 teaspoon of Epsom salt measurement, there were a couple plants that grew to a decent size, such as snow pea 6, which grew to 9 centimeters, but every other plant was of a smaller size and had not produced as much as the tap water. So the tap water measurements were all about 8 centimeters or higher, and all other than spinach tap 1, spinach tap 3 have at this point produced something. Like the spinach had started growing, the snow peas had started growing, and the green beans had started to grow. So in this, my data went against my prediction and said that Epsom salt in water does not help plants grow better. And the more I put in, the more it killed the plants. I think I also could have just added the Epsom salt to the soil before I put the seeds in instead of watering. And I think this is what made my experiment the way it was. This can help scientists in the future by knowing that watering with Epsom salt does not help plants succeed.